The secret to success in powerlifting is not necessarily always going to be get stronger. The secret to success in powerlifting is to have better form. And I've said this many times before, your form probably sucks. And your form always will be imperfect. The professional sport closest to powerlifting, because in powerlifting you have 3 movements that you have to perfect, would be bowling, where you have 1 movement to perfect. If humans were able to perfect a single movement, every single professional bowling match will be 300s. But that's not the case, because humans are imperfect. How do we get as close to possible to being perfect form-wise in our 3 lifts? You have to build up positive muscle memory, all 3 of your lifts. You got squats, and it's really easy to build up positive muscle memory in squats. It's actually the easiest lift to have as close to perfect form as, but if your form sucks, you're gonna suffer the most due to your form. If you have a broomstick or a PVC pipe, do air squats with your 0-pound weight. Make sure that you're enforcing every single cue that you have when you're doing your air squats. Make sure that your elbows are tucked, make sure your chest is proud, make sure you're engaging your core and you're bracing, make sure you're pushing off in the middle of your foot for optimal foot pressure. Make sure you're hitting depth. All of these things are muscle memories. At 95%, your body kind of just completely relies on your muscle memory and it throws out anything going on in your head. You can do the exact same thing on bench press. You set up on bench press, you use a PVC pipe or a broomstick. You make sure that you have your optimal hand position, so you might have to add a little bit of tape to whatever apparatus you're using. And you practice, where do you touch on your chest? Where do your elbows, where do they go while you're pressing? At the bottom, what do your feet do? You're enforcing positive muscle memory, positive touch placement, positive chest up, positive leg drive. Bench is about 50% legs. On a good bench day, you should be almost as sore as on a squat day in your legs. On deadlifts, it's a little more difficult to build up a positive muscle memory because you have to have the exact same starting position. The way that you can go about doing that is you take the lightest bar that you can. If you have access to a Bella bar, that's good. That's 25 pounds. If you have a regular bar, that's fine too, 45 pounds. And you get the lightest bumper plates that you can. And you practice taking the slack out of the bar. That's going to raise the bar off the floor because you've got zero weight. And you're going to be able to do that with your scaps. You're going to enforce your bracing through your core, and you're going to enforce a good starting position. If you treat every single one of these minimal weight reps as if it is a PR rep, like Ed Cohn often said, treat even the lightweights like a heavyweight, and the heavyweights will start to move like the lightweights. You will develop positive muscle memory, and your lifts will become more efficient. You will technically increase your total without building more muscle. You're building muscle memory, which is equally as important as having a lot of muscle mass. It is easier to develop the correct type of muscle mass in the right areas with good form, because when you load up the squats and you start working your squat, you're going to be developing the correct muscle groups that are required for your squat to increase. The best way to get stronger isn't necessarily to get stronger. It is to develop positive muscle memory. Once you have that positive muscle memory, then you can build more muscle more efficiently, and you'll be wasting much less time in the gym. So if you take anything away from this, it's not that you don't need to build muscle to get stronger. It's that it's easier to build muscle when you have proper form, when you have perfect form. But you're never going to have perfect form. So the muscle memory and the form work that you work will never end. People at the top level, Dan Bell doesn't have perfect form. John Hack doesn't have perfect form. I don't have perfect form. But if you get as close as possible to perfection, you will be developing the right kind of muscle. You will increase your lifts. You'll increase your total much more with good form. If you emphasize perfect form, you'll develop the right kind of muscle. So leave your pride at the doorstep and start doing more and more weight. Focus on your respective cues that your coach has given you and hammer out some 0% high volume, high reps, because it's not really that much volume. Some high rep work with air squats with PVC pipe, air bench with PVC pipe, and minimal weight deadlifts to perfect your form, because it's a lot easier to get stronger when you're not injured. And bad form will almost definitely lead to injury.